Happy Monday, grade 4s. I'm here to give you your math video for today, so you can follow along with me. If you're stuck, if you looked at that math and went, I'm not sure about that, follow along with me, and I'm sure once it's explained, it'll make more sense. If you've already done your math and you just want to check it, then same, follow along. You can skip to the part of the video that you are working on. I'm going to start at the beginning and just work through and try to explain it as best as possible. Again, if you're watching the video and you get stuck, send me a dojo message. I will respond. I will be checking my messages. So send me a message. The video is not everything, but send me a message if the video leaves you with more questions. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our daily math. This is the same daily math we do in class. So I'm going to work through it. If you are stuck, maybe you want an explanation. So let's go for it. So we have the first question says, and sorry for my shaky video, I'm looking at different ways to make these videos a little bit easier to take. But for now, this is what we got and we're going to work with it. So it says, create a pattern based on the following rule. Start at 30, add 5. So we look at what's important there. We're going to start at 30 and we're going to add 5. You guys know this pattern as counting by 5s. So let's go, sorry, there's pen on my hands. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, easy as that. Number 2, create a pattern based on the following rule. Start at 100 and subtract 20. Now, this pattern is limited because it's a decreasing pattern. We can only go so far before we hit 0. So let's start at 100, subtract 20, and we'll go till we hit 0. So 100, 80, remember we're counting backwards by 2s, 60, 40, 20. Oh, I've reached my limit. I am at 0. That's as far as I can go for my decreasing pattern. Okay, number 3, what is the missing number? So 89 divided by something equals 9. Now remember when we do multiplication and division, they're very related. It's just like addition and subtraction. So we can just do the opposite to figure out what we're missing. So what is the opposite of divide? Well, it's multiply. So 9 times what equals 81? And we just have to think of our facts. Well, I know that 9 times 9 equals 81. So that means if I was to take 81 and divide it by 9, I would get 9. All right, number 4. What is the pattern rule? So we're starting at 8. See if these numbers sound familiar to you. 8, 16, 32, and 64. So if we're looking at that, you might think, well, I thought it was counting by 8s, but then it just started to get really confusing. It's not quite counting by 8s. It is at first, but if you look carefully, 8, it's hard to figure out which way my pen goes on this video. 8 doubled is 16. If we double 16, we get 32. And remember, double is just adding the number together. So 8 plus 8 is 16. I'm going to double 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. I'm going to double 32. 32 plus 32 is 64. So the pattern rule is double the previous number. Or you could say double the last number. You don't have to use the word previous. You can do anything. You can say double the last number, double the previous number, double the number. Any of those is an acceptable answer, as long as your rule is you're doubling the number. So, or you could say start at 8, double the numbers until you get to 64. That's another way to put it. Now we got number 5. What is the number that completes the following equation? So 14 take away 8 is the same as 13 take away something. Now, earlier in the year and in grade 3, definitely in grade 3, you learned the different, or what this little symbol means, this one, this equal symbol. And remember how it's almost like a weight, a balance scale for weights? So whatever this equals has to be the same on the other side. They have to balance. So the total here needs to be the same as the total here. So 14 take away 8, well, think about it. 14 take away 7 is 7. Take away 1 more than that is going to be 6. Okay. Now if I use my number line here, which is just easy, I can know that 13 take away what is going to be 6. So I'm going to start at 13 because this one has to equal 6. This side is 6, so this side needs to be worth 6 too. So we're going to start at 13, and we're going to see how many counts we have to make till we get to 6. 13, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you need to take away 7 from 13 to equal 6. So 13 take away 7 is 6. 14 take away 8 is 6. So this equation balances. It's the same on this side and it's the same on that side. This equal sign doesn't mean give me the answer. It means give me a balanced equation. 6 on this side, 6 on that side. All right, let's work through our problem of the day. Now, I put a little note in here. It says, remember, spiders have 8 legs and insects have 6. So when we read our problem, and sorry, my paper's crooked here. When we read our problem, we're going to keep those facts in mind. So spiders have 8 legs and insects have 6. So it says, the entomology, that just means bugs, the bug exhibit has 40 spiders on display. There are also 56 insects in their collection. Are there more spider legs on display or insect legs? How many more? So we have to think, okay. And we have to use some of our multiplication strategies for this. So we have to do 40 spiders times 8 legs, right? Because spiders have 8 legs. So 40 spiders times 8 legs. We have to figure that one out. And let's look what else we have to figure out. 56 insects times 6 legs. Now, we don't have to use the same strategy for both. Actually, I'm going to tell you, if it was me working on it, I would definitely look at this and I would think, okay, well, instead of doing 40 times 8, why don't I just do 4 times 8 and add a 0? You're right. I hope you said 0. Okay, so looking at my forest facts, you'd look at your forest facts, or you know your forest facts, right? And so 4 times 8 is 32, right? 4 times 8 is 32. And then you would go 32 with a 0. Okay, and then we move over to here. Now this one I'm going to use partial products. So I'm going to start with 6 times 6 is 36. And 5 times 6 is 30, but this is actually 50 times 6, so it's going to be 30 with a 0, right? This is our partial products strategy that we've been practicing in class. Nothing new, but if you need a reminder, that's what this video is for. So 6 and 0, 6, we're adding them together. 3 and 0, 3 and 3. So I have 336 insect legs and 320 spider legs. Sorry, tried to remember what I was talking about here. So these are my 2 numbers that I have to work with. Now I'm going to go back to my question. I'm going to say, are there more spider legs on display or insect legs? So that's my first question. And I'm going to say 320 and 336 are the legs. This is spiders. This is insects. So we know that there's more insects, right? Now, there's more insects, but we also need to know how many more. And to do that, we need to find the difference. So the difference we find by subtracting. So I'm going to start with my bigger number, 336, my greater number, and I'm going to subtract 320. Okay, so I'm going to do Grandma Grandpa's way. 6 take away 0 is 6. 3 take away 2 is 1. 3 take away 3 is 0. So I have a difference of 16. So there are 16 more, oh, sorry, I'm not showing you my writing, more insect legs. Okay, now it says try to solve these multiplication problems using your strategy of choice. So you're going to go through, and I'm going to actually do these each one with you. And today I'm going to be modeling the partial product strategy because I know that most of you enjoy that one the best. On other days, I might model Grandma and Grandpa's way, but today I'm going to model the partial products. So if you could find the spot in your worksheet, we're going to start with 27 times 2. So again, I'm going to start with my ones. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 20, 2 times 2 is 4, add a 0, right? Because it's 20. If you're one of the people that likes to just put a 0 here and then do 2 times 2 is 4, that works too. And then you're going to add them together. 14 plus 40, think about it. Say your answer. 54. Okay, next. 26 times 4. Now, I'm going to use my partial products strategy again. I'm sorry for my shaky phone. I'm doing my best. It's hard to hold the phone and write at the same time, but we're learning together. So 6 times 4. I want you to think, what is 6 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24. Remember our rule of sixes? They always have, for their even numbers, they always end in the same as the factor. Okay, 6 times 4 is 24. Now I'm going to look at 6 times 20. I can put my 0 here and just do, sorry, not 6 times 20, 20 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I've done 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 20 is 80. Now I'm going to add them together, and I've got 4. 2 plus 8 is 10. So my answer is 104. Sorry, 104. Next one, 58 times 8. Now I'm using my partial products strategy, which means I am going to start with my 8s. 8 times 8 and the 1. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. So I would write 64. And then I've got 8 times 50. 8 times 50, and again, you can just put a 0 here and do 8 times 5. 8 times 5, so you know your 5s. If you don't know your 5s, think about it. Okay, 8 times 5 is 40. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add them. 4, 6, 4. So it's 464. Don't mind my messy writing. Okay, my next one. 71 times 9. So I'm going to start with the ones. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 times 7 is my next one. So 9 times 7. I'm going to give you a second to think of your 9s facts. Remember our trick for the 9s facts? So it's going to be 63. But again, it's tenths because it's 9 times 70. It's 71 times 9. So 9 times 70. 9 times 7 is 63. And I have the 0 there because I'm actually multiplying 70, not just 7. So now I'm going to add them together, 639. All right, let's go on to the next one. You can check your work here. Oh, let me find a steady camera shot. Okay. Now I've got this one. I'm going to start with my ones. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, and then I'm going to put my 0 there because I'm doing 3 times 60, or 60 times 3. Same, they're the same. I'm going to put the 0 there so I can just put the 0 and then go 6 times 3. 6 times 3. Can you guys think of what 6 times 3 is? I'll give you a second. Okay, 6 times 3 is 18. Now, if you didn't get that fact quickly, that means you have some time right now. You should be practicing your multiplication facts because these facts should come. So if you're trying to think and you can't think of the answer, that's a sign to you that maybe you should use some time, do some practice today, some multiplication facts practice, whether that's a game or reflex or some dog or playing some cards or practicing getting someone in your family to give you a multiplication test, practice those facts today. If you're not thinking of the facts and you're having a hard time struggling to find them, then please practice them today, okay? Anyway, back to the question. 6 times 0 is 6. 8 and 1, so 186. Next, and you know what? If you look here, if you know 6 times 3 is 18, and then you just add a 0, you know the answer should be around 180. You probably didn't even have to do partial products for that one. Now 92 times 8. So I'm going to start with 8 times 2. I hope you got that it's 16. If not, keep practicing. And then 9 times 8. So 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is 72. Okay, and now we're going to add them together. So I'm going to go 6 and 2 is 8. 1 and 7 is 8. Oh, it's 88. Very nice. Next one, 88 times 2. Now, I know that there are some kids in our class who are going to look at this and say, why would you do partial sums for this, Mrs. Oakes? Because it's times 2. And I know that some of you may have done this by just doing 88 plus 88, which is a repeated addition strategy. It's a great strategy. If that's what you did, awesome. But I'm going to go through it partial products because I'm modeling the strategy for people who are still practicing this strategy, right? So I'm modeling the strategy. If you got this a different way, that's okay too. Check your answer. If your answer matches the answer that we get from partial products, that means you're on the right track and you're doing the right thing. So 8 times 2 is 16. Now 80 times 2, I add a 0, and it's going to be 16 with a 0 because it's times 10. 80, not times 10, times multiples of 10. All right, 6 plus 0 is 6, 1 plus 6 is 7, and 1 plus nothing is 1. So it's 176. All right, moving on to my next one, 43 times 9. So I'm going to start with my ones. 3 times 9 is, I hope you got 27. Again, practice those facts today. If you're struggling to find your facts, practice them. You've got time. And then 9 times 4 is 36. But I'm actually doing 9 times 40, so I put a 0, and then I write my 36. Okay, I'm keeping my numbers in line. If I'm using this strategy, I'm not writing it over here. My ones are in line with my ones, my tens are in line with my tens, and my hundreds are, well, in line by themselves. 7 and 0, 6 and 2, and 3. So 387. And that's what I have for this one. So we just worked through our first page. Oh, my phone doesn't want to focus, so just give me a second. We worked through our first page, and now I'm going to move on to the second page. Now this is actually from the multiplication station, but it's one that none of you have done yet. It's the new multiplication station. So we're going to work through it. Each letter is represented by a product shown below. So all you have to do is solve the equations to find the answer for each riddle. Now, if you haven't done this yet, I think you should pause the video and try, because you know your equations. None of this is something that you can't do. This is all stuff that you did in grade 3. I know you can try it. So all you're going to do is you're going to look here. I'm going to explain it, and then I want you to pause the video if you haven't already done it, and then I want you to do it before you just watch the video to get the answers. Okay, so looking here, 6 times 4, okay, I know that's 24, so I'd go and I'd find 24. 24, 24, 24, T. And I would write T. Now, 10 times 6 is 60. Oh, I would find 60, and I'd look at the letter is H. I would write H. Okay, and you're going to keep going like that until you finish the whole thing. So, if you are not done this yet, I want you to pause the video, and then I want you to go and figure this code out, because figuring out codes is fun. And if you just sit here and watch me do it, well, that's definitely not as fun. So pause the video if you haven't already figured out the code. Okay, and I'm actually going to do the same, and I will come back with the answer so you can check your work. So I don't want you to get your answer from here, I want you to work through it yourself. You guys know how to do it. Look at here. So I'd go 6 times 7, right? I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. 6 times 7, 42. So I'm gonna look. E. So I've just made the word the. I'm gonna keep going. And I want, if you're not done, pause it and come back, okay? Pause it and come back. And when you come back, the answer will be here, okay? So I'm gonna work through this really quickly and I will be back with the solution right away so you can check your work. But I want you to go through, so the next one is 3 times 8. So figure out 3 times 8 and then find the number and write it down. Write down the letter. Okay, I'll be right back with the answer so that you can check it. So before I reveal the answer, I want to remind you, I hope you paused the video and actually did it yourself, because then you get the satisfaction of these puns. Okay, so again, I'm gonna give the answer. It's a bit of a spoiler if you haven't done it yet, but you were given warning. So the answers are, if you're solving the riddles, so the answers are, which dinosaur knows the most words? The thesaurus. Why do fish live in salt water? Because pepper makes them sneeze. Again, very funny. Why are leopards so bad at playing hide and seek? Because they're always spotted. So that's our math for today. I hope that you work through this and seeing the video helped you realize that you can do it. If you have a question or you're stuck or you want to tell me, yeah, Mrs. Oakes, I got this. This is really great. Send me a message on Dojo. I'm right there. I will be, if it's during school hours, I'll be right near my computer checking my messages. And so if you're stuck, reach out and I'm here to help you. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow for more math.